Hello, everyone. We are doing a webinar for you today on 15 surprising sources of hidden sugar, and I've got the lovely Alison with me today.
Hello, everybody.
So she was kind enough to join me today and thought might add some value. I'm sure it will add value into our discussion. And hopefully you'll get some good tips out of this. So it'll be a fairly short webinar today. And hopefully for those of you watching, if you're watching us live or if you're watching the recording, these sort of tips might help put you back on track with your diet. And so it's always good to, review this type of information. What do you think about that, Alison?
Yes, I think so. I think it's really important. There's a lot of products that you think are healthy for you, but there's a lot of absolutely hidden sugars in them.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get started. And all right. So I've taken quite a few references from WebMD. I've gotten a few of the sources from other places as well. Okay, Alison, so the first one we've got is pasta sauce. It does taste savory often, and you'd think there isn't much sugar in it, but it can have as many as 6 to 12 grams of sugar per half cup. And they say that that's what you'd get from a chocolate chip cookie. The American Heart Association recommends that women have no more than 100 calories of sugar per day, which is only about 6 teaspoons, and men no more than 150 calories a day, which is 9 teaspoons. You got to check the label for sugar content on your pasta sauces. What do you think of this one, Alison?
Yes, I think that's one of the very hidden ones. What we do in our families, we do replace the pasta with zucchini. You know, the zucchini spiral. So you can, instead of doing pasta, you can actually do put your zucchini through your spiralizer and yes, and just do your pasta sauce and have your zucchini raw. And when you put the pasta sauce on top, it actually just cooks the very thin zucchini. So it's a really good alternative option.
Okay, great. So there we can switch out the pasta for the zucchini.
Yes.
And then if you're looking at the sugar content of your actual pasta sauce, it's a good idea to, if you are buying it from the supermarket, you can compare labels, and you'll actually find that some have a lot lower sugar than others. So just a good tip there. So we'll move on to the next one. Granola bars or muesli bars. So granola is, I guess, the American term, and muesli bars more Australian, UK term. So they sound like a health food, but many have sweeteners like corn syrup, brown sugar syrup, honey, dextrose, fructose. And often they have a sugar coating, and they might have some choc chips in there or bits of nut. So anywhere from 8 to 12 grams per serving of sugar. So you can really, that starts to add up. And, you know, if you have one, okay, that's not that much. But it's, I guess, Alison, it's when you're adding all these different foods together, at the end of the day, you'll find out how many extra teaspoons of sugar you've had.
Yes, that's very true. Yes.
Yeah. So great. So that's granola muesli bars. The next one, this is actually a big one, yogurt. So you get plenty of calcium and protein from yogurt. It's a great source for those, for protein and calcium. But, you know, even the low-fat yogurts can have quite a bit of sugar. So on the slide, we're saying 17 to 33 grams of sugar per 8-ounce serving. So I'm going to guess that an 8-ounce serving is a little tub. My mum has yogurt every morning, and I was actually looking at her yogurt tub, Alison, to check the sugar content. It's actually quite high. So I prefer the Greek yogurt without the sugar. But, you know, the thing is, some people like the sweetness. And so they recommend that if you do like the sweetness, an option is to add some fresh fruit in with it. So you can add some, like, you know, banana, or you could add some grapes or strawberries or something to kind of flavor it naturally. And so that way, even though fruit has got sugar in it, it's got fiber in it too. So you're going to slow that down. It's not the same as having, you know, teaspoons of sugar.
Yes, I also find blueberries and raspberries are really nice to put in the Greek yogurt.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds lovely. Yep. So that's a good one. Good tip there. All right. Instant oatmeal. Love oatmeal. So oatmeal has a great reputation. It's for being really healthy. It's got lots of fiber. But, you know, Alison, when you buy the packs, so you can get the boxes of instant oatmeal, and they come in a little sachet.
Yes.
Often those sachets, they've got added sugar in it, up to 10 to 15 grams per packet. So you can really start to add on some, add up the extra teaspoons of sugar. So one recommendation is to have the instant oats that actually have no added sugar, and then again coming back into adding your fruit. This one here's got dried fruit on it, and this is actually another source of hidden sugar, which we'll touch on. So actually that meal looks quite healthy, but in reality there's a ton of sugar in that breakfast there. You've got your honey drizzled all over, plus you've got dried fruit, and then there would be sugar in your instant oats too.
Yes.
The healthy option would be have the oats, as we said, without the sugar, and there's all sorts of things that you could have for breakfast. Okay. Yes, go on. Were you going to say something?
I was just going to say something really good that you can do on your oats too is to just sprinkle some little bit of cinnamon.
Oh yeah.
So you get cinnamon. So I use the plain Woolies have a macro range, which is an organic range.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same, pretty much the same price as your normal oats. So and it's really nice if you just have that with possibly like almond milk or something, and you can sprinkle cinnamon over the top, and it actually gives you that cinnamon in the morning, but it gives it flavour.
Yeah, wow. Okay, good tip.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great. Okay, salad dressing. So it's easy to get quite heavy with dressings and, go a little bit over the top. So there's different types of dressing, and lots have about 5 to 7 grams of sugar per serving of dressing, or per 2 tablespoons of dressing rather. So you just watch how much you actually pour on. A great option, of course, is like balsamic vinegar and olive oil, or olive oil and apple cider vinegar. You can add some lemon juice in there, so you could make your own dressing, and those wouldn't have anywhere near the amount of sugar in it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Good experiment.
Yes, it's a good experiment. Breakfast cereal. Okay, so this is really a big one. Actually, most breakfast cereals that come out of a box are loaded full of sugar, and kids obviously love them. Most popular ones probably being cornflakes and bran cereals, but they can have 10 to 20 grams of sugar per cup. So it's really important to read those labels. So just becoming a little bit more mindful about what you're buying, and just looking at better options. Look at the options of where you can actually cut down. Oh, that one's got lower sugar. You might want to choose a different option. So of course, anything that's processed in a box is likely to have quite a bit of sugar in it. Right, so breakfast cereal. Energy drinks. So I'm going to add in here soft drinks too, although you would think maybe that's fairly obvious that a soft drink is loaded full of sugar, but people think that energy drinks are not. And they say they can give you a lift, but have lots of sugar and caffeine as well. And so they can have about 25 grams per 8-ounce serving. So really, this one's a big one. You can really load up on sugar through these. I tend to find if you have something quite sugary as a drink, it's going to make you thirsty. Some people may not realize that actually sugar makes you thirsty if you have an excess amount, and actually dehydrates you more. So, yeah, so there's better options.
Yeah, so what about Gatorade and things like that? Are they better than the energy drinks, or are they?
Yeah, I think they would have less sugar. I think they've still definitely got sugar in them, but probably not as high as what this example is. Right. And it would be just a matter of checking the bottle. So I would just like turn the bottle over, have a look at the label, read it, and read how many servings you're actually getting and how many grams of sugar. So 5 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon. So if it's got 10 grams of sugar added, then somebody's gone and add 1-2 teaspoons to it.
Wow.
And if you think back to the previous slide, the Heart Foundation, the recommended amount for a woman, let me just check. I'm just going to flip back quickly. So for women, they recommend no more than 6 teaspoons worth, and for men, 9 teaspoons. So you can see quickly it won't take long to actually hit that. Really quickly.
Absolutely.
So if Doc was on the call, I'm sure he'd chime in here. But so this discussion about sugar, of course, one of the main things the AGE pill does is work on glycation and lipofuscin. So it helps to detox the body of that sugar buildup. All right, packaged fruits. So tinned fruits, packaged fruits, so like mandarins in light syrup. So they can have quite a bit of sugar, 39 grams of sugar per 1 cup serving. So you can actually get a lot from it. So you could actually get less, obviously, if you drain the syrup. I recommend having it in natural juice and just check and do a brand comparison, like check what you're buying and look which one has the best or the lowest amount of sugar, and preferably no added sugar at all. Of course, fresh fruit is better, but that would be obvious, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and also if you have fresh fruit, you actually have seasonal fruit, whereas if you have packaged stuff, you're not eating things that are in season. And I think the variety for your body over the year, it's good to have not the same thing every day.
Yep, definitely. Great, so we'll go to the next one. Okay, coleslaw. Again, this probably comes back to the salad dressing thing. So obviously coleslaw by itself, all that cabbage and carrot and what else have they got in there? A little bit of onion. That has no sugar, but it's when they add the dressing in that now the sugar content goes up. So it comes back to the salad dressing issue. And a lot of fast food places might use a pretty heavy dressing in terms of sugar content. So again, you could be adding an extra 15 grams of sugar, which is 3 teaspoons, just from a serving of coleslaw. So yeah, you can ask to check the nutritional label and ask how much sugar's in it. And by law, they're meant to be able to provide that information to you. Did you have anything to comment there, Alison?
No, I just think you're right on the money there. The sauces are the things that have got all that hidden sugar. And yeah, so just to check, yeah, absolutely.
Right, iced tea. So people love Long Island iced tea or any of those iced tea drinks. And these actually have a lot of sugar in them. So many popular brands have a massive amount of sugar. So 32 grams of sugar per bottle even, Alison.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so that's huge. So you've gone, just in the iced tea, you've gone over your recommended amount of added sugar to your diet in one day, or one serving rather. So yeah, so you can control it, obviously make your own tea, then you could add a tiny bit. If you're going to add some sugar, you can control the amount, and you could use an alternative like a stevia sweetener or something like that, or have it plain. And you could also maybe flavor it with some herbs. There would be some pretty good recipes I'm sure you could find on the internet.
Yes.
Great. All right. Dried fruit. So we touched on this one earlier. So dried fruit is really high in sugar. So 1.5 ounces has more than 25 grams of sugar. So an ounce is 22 grams, I believe. So it's got a lot of sugar. So you want to be mindful of that. I know that probably maybe some parents give little fruit boxes to their kids. Obviously, a better option would be the fruit in its natural state.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this one can really add on the calories too. So, and the sugar really converts to body fat very easily if not used. All right, tomato sauce. So similar to the salad dressing one, similar to pasta sauce too. Again, no surprise there, I guess. So you can have 4 grams per tablespoon of sugar. It's not much, but obviously if you start adding it all up, as we've discussed throughout the day, you'll find you're having a lot of extra sugar. I think we're coming up to the last one. Oh no, second last one, baked beans. Are you surprised about this one, Alison?
I'm very surprised actually, because I think growing up, I think it was in most family households. So yeah, no, very surprised on this one.
Yep. So you can buy different brands and check them, but they're saying that, on average 254 grams has about 5 teaspoons of sugar. So this is one to watch and just be mindful of. So my mum actually has a tiny little tin, like a tiny little baby tin. The little baby tin's got 1 teaspoon of sugar and it's tiny.
Tiny.
Yeah, but most people would probably have more than that. And so
they probably have a can and tip it in.
Yeah. So just to be mindful there. And again, we're coming back to packaged and processed foods, and we're not really aware of how much sugar they're adding to them. So just to be mindful, and you will save yourself quite a few calories if you start paying attention to this, which will help you maintain your weight or lose weight if that's what your goal is. Okay, yeah, this is the last one. So we've got takeaway food. I didn't want to name the brand, but I think you guys could probably guess what we're talking about. And actually, this was an article from the newspaper not that long ago, and it said, despite, and I put the most popular fast food, promises to make healthier products, the amount of sugar in their hamburgers is more than 3 times greater compared to what it was in 1989. And so perhaps you wouldn't expect sugar to be in a burger, but these days there's actually around 9 grams of sugar in a single burger bun. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm not sure if you also know that the chips, they roll all the chips in sugar.
Do they?
Yeah, all their chips are rolled in sugar before they fry them.
Oh, wow.
To get the even colour. I just know that because we did a tour in the back end and got to see that. So I was very surprised. That's why they're so moreish.
Yes, and because then now you've got the sugar, then you're going to add some salt, and of course now you're deep frying them, so you've got the 3 things that are very, I guess I'm going to say addictive, really. Yeah, you can't just stop at one.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so that's our tips for the day. So I'm just going to stop there, stop share, say hi to you. So if you're watching, guys, thanks for watching. Say thank you, and we will post the recording on YouTube. If you've got any comments, please add them below. We love the interaction, love to hear your thoughts, ideas. If you know of any other places you can find hidden sugar that you wouldn't expect, go on and comment it below, and we really appreciate your input. So I hope you have a great weekend, and I guess we'll leave it there. And I want to thank Alison for joining us today.
Thanks, Katie. I had a great time and I learned heaps, so thank you very much again.
Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.